What's going on, guys? My name is Joe. This is the Duel Factory, and I'm not gonna lie to you, the holidays suck. Especially not because I don't like Christmas, but it impedes on me playing Yu-Gi-Oh! So I haven't been able to do whole lot. But I did manage to get to play the other day, and I got it. I'm gonna show you my first version of the Kragen deck that's been going around. A lot of people call it Sharks, but I don't. I only play like 4 Shark cards, so I'm just gonna call it Kragen Control. But this is my first draft of it. I actually really like the deck. It's got a lot of things going for it. One, it's a rank 4 toolbox deck, which I've always been a fan of. It has my favorite attribute in Yu-Gi-Oh, which is water, as most people know. And you can do some really cool stuff with it. Now, arguably, one of the best plays the deck has is, flood them out with Goes and Match. But, hey, every deck has to have something that people don't like. But I'm going to go ahead and show you my Kraken Control, my first draft. Arguably, it's not the best list, but there are things that I have changed, or things I am going to change going into the future. Just noticing playing a couple games here and there. But it's got some super impactful plays, and I'm really excited to show it to you guys. So enough said, let's go ahead and start with this. So to start off, we play 3 copies of Beautiful Princess. One, I didn't realize this was a $15 rare, so that sucks. But for those of you who don't know, her effect happens when she's normal special summon and she's level 1, so you can summon her off of 1-for-1, which is really cool. But when she's normal special summon, you can banish a card and then special summon a level 4 or lower fish monster from your deck, except Beautiful Princess, and you can only use the effect once per turn. So, the main target that this monster is going to summon is going to be Buzzsaw Shark. Also note that Beautiful Princess, it is not an initiation effect. It happens upon her summon, so she banishes as a cost, so you can't Veiler it. Really good to know. But the main card you can be summoning is the Buzzsaw Shark. So this is the monster you want to resolve every single game. To sum up its effect, you can target a water monster on the field, including itself, and you can special summon from your deck in defense position a fish monster with the same level as the monster, but with a different name. So more or less, this is your 1 card rank 4. And then it locks you into XYZs, but you only have XYZs in your extra deck other than the Owl Mirage that I'll make room for later, but I'll talk about that in a little bit. But basically what you're doing the entire time is you're just making rank 4 XYZs with this deck, and they're all going to be water attributes. So this is the main card of the deck. And then as an extender, we play 3 copies of Silent Angler. For those of you who don't know its effect's very simple. If you control a water monster, you can special summon out of your hand, but the turn you do that, you can't special summon monsters from your hand for the rest of the turn after you've done that. Really, really cool card. Level 4, it's a fish, so it works really good with the new White Mirror spell card. And he's the reason that I'm going to put Owl Mirage in my extra deck after this deck profile. Because there's a combo with him and White Mirror, the new spell card, that at least ends on Bahamut Shark or Kragen, depending on your hand. I am playing 2 copies of Silent Sea Nettle. So this is more or less, I think, in terms of accessibility for extenders, this is probably the next best one that we have access to. But if I control a water monster, I can special summon from the hand. And then will turn into that I can't special summon monsters except water monsters or wild time. Yeah. And then the other effect it has is I can banish it from the graveyard, target 3 water monsters. In my graveyard, shuffle them into the deck. So basically, it's a way to recycle like your XYZs, like your Buzzsaw Sharks, like stuff like that. I'm only playing 2 because it clogs up at 3. And locking you only into water monsters, like turn 1, can be really, really difficult because then you can't go into Utopic Draco future. But I digress. We need extenders in this deck, so that's the one that we're playing. And then for the last actual water monster, I am playing 1 copy of Right Hand Shark. I am playing this because I am playing the Crooked Cook. That's the only reason to be playing it. Arguably, this card could be something else, like Lifeless Leaf Fish, or it could be Lantern Shark, or like a bunch of other things. But more or less, its normal summon effect is irrelevant because we're not playing Left Hand Shark. Its other effect is when you use it for an XYZ material and the other material is water. The XYZ monster gains the following effect, and it cannot be destroyed by battle. So there's a combo with Crooked Cook, where Crooked Cook is, if it's the only card in the field, it's unaffected by card effect. And then it also cannot be destroyed by battle, while it has Right Hand Shark as materials with another water monster. So it's really, really hard to out, unless you have Kaijus or something like that, so that's why we're playing it for now. And then that's it for the actual water monsters that consist of our rank 4 engine. On to the hand traps. I'm playing 3 copies of Ash Blossom. It's a very generic hand trap, and it's also a hand trap that's very good against your deck. No, all the hand traps I'm playing are also really good cross-site designated targets because I am playing cross-site designator in this list. But 3 Ash Blossom. These hand traps are also really, really good against Sword Soul too, so that's why I'm playing them. So we're playing 3 copies of Ash Blossom, 3 copies of Veiler, and then 3 copies of Imperm. Super happy I finally got my ultis. But yeah, so these hand traps I think are very, very good against decks like Sword Soul, especially since it's the most represented deck. And they also really work well in your deck with cards like Cross-Site Designator, because you really want your Buzzsaw Shark and your Beautiful Princess to resolve without diluting the consistency of your deck. So that's why I played those hand traps along with these 3 cards. Arguably, I don't know if I'm going to keep it in this deck. It'll probably get switched out for something else because I don't think the card's very good right now. But so far, when I've drawn it, it's been a very, very high impact card for me. So I don't know. My opinion can change. And then on to the consistency spells. We play 3 copies of Pot of Desires. The +1's really good in this deck. Another new card from Brothers of Legend is the White Mirror. So for those of you who don't know, it is a monster reborn for level 4 fish monsters. And then the monster that special summoned off of White Mirror, you can add a copy of that monster from your deck to hand. And it's really integral, actually, to the deck because there's a 2-card combo with Buzzsaw Shark and White Mirror. You can also do it with Beautiful Princess as well, where that equals Utopic Draco Future plus 2 Toads. And that's why Silent Angler becomes really, really important, because the monster summoning off Buzzsaw Shark in that combo is the Angler, and then you revive the Angler with White Mirror. Then special summon the 2nd copy of Angler. You're going to add off the White Mirror, and that's how you end on your combo. But card's really, really good. I really like it. It's really, really cool. I'm also playing 2 copies of Charles because it's also really, really good, this format. It turns off a lot of problem cards that in favor of deck. For example, I've ran into a lot of Shadal decks or Dogmatic Invoke decks that still play the Schism, and Winda is a very, very hard card to out. This card's really good. It's also really good in the Sword Soul Mirror. Not Sword Soul Mirror, but Soul Sword matchup. To an extent, I actually like it in the Lear. Like, it's really good all around, so that's why I'm playing it. For more extenders, I'm playing 1 copy of Red Fusion and 1 copy of Instant Fusion. The idea behind this is I wanted to play extenders that, produce a level 4 water monster, but I didn't want to dilute my deck with too many copies of them, because these cards are hard once per turn, so that's playing 1 and 1. And realistically, you can resolve both of these of a turn if you draw both of them, because there's a lot of plays, especially like mid-game, where you're using your Toads to recycle your monsters that can put Rare Fish back in your extra deck, and you can resolve it twice in a turn. So that's why I'm playing the 1 and 1. I might end up playing more copies of Ready Fusion just because it's a very high quality extender, but we'll see. 1-0s are Monster Reborn, Called by the Grave, and then 1 for 1. Called by the Grave just because we want our plays resolve, thus adding to cards like Cross-Eyed Designator. 1 for 1 because it's another starter card for Beautiful Princess, and then Monster Reborn because it's just an overall really good extender. And then for the final 3 cards, we do have to play a Floodgate, and we're playing Goes a Match. So there's a really interesting combo in this deck where you summon number 4 Stealth Kraken, and one of its effects is it turns all monsters on the field into water monsters. So it's kind of like the Zombie World rivalry lock, where this deck, you summon Stealth Kraken, flip Goes a Match, and then your opponent can only summon water monsters, and then you lock them out of the game. Same concept. It's an auto-win half the time when you flip it. If your opponent has an out to the Goes a Match, then that makes the match a little difficult. But Kragen is a really good card on its own, too. So that is the main deck. It is 40. And then on to the extra deck. So the star of the show, 2 copies of number 4 Stealth Kraken. So this card also got released out of Brothers of Legend, and it has a really, really unique effect. So note, to play it, you have to use 2 level 4 water monsters to summon it. And then while it's face up on the field, all monsters on the field become water attribute. That card's really cool. And then it has a Dryden effect during either player's turn. During either player's turn during the main phase, I can destroy 1 water monster my opponent controls, and if I do, they take damage equal to half the attack points. Not the original attack points, the attack points. Keep that in mind. And then it also has a really cool effect when it's destroyed. You can special summon 2 Stealth Kraken spawns, which are these right here. And then you can attach materials. You can summon Stealth Kraken spawns up to the number of materials underneath of them. Generally, you're going to have 2 because you don't have to detach for this card. But when they're summoned, you can also attach a water monster in your graveyard as a material to it. So it's a really unique floater, and it's really cool too, because now you can summon these Stealth Kraken spawns, which are basically Stealth Kraken, but without turning everything into water monsters. But it's really cool because now you can use the Stealth Kraken spawns. You can reattach like cards like Totally Awesome and stuff like that. And then since they are not number monsters, if you summon 2 of them, you can also summon Utopic Future with that, which also summons Utopic Draco Future. And then the Toads will fall off, and you can recycle your monsters. It's also cool because this floats back into Stealth Kraken, because you can run it into it, and then this monster has an effect where it can bring back a Stealth Kraken monster, which includes number 4 Stealth Kraken. So it's really cool. It's a really unique way of recycling all your cards, and that's where this deck really shines, is after turn 1, it has a very strong grind game. On to other monsters, I have 2 copies of Bahamut Shark, 2 is necessary for the combo, and then 2 copies of the Toad, 2 copies is also necessary for the combo, plus it's a really nice way to recycle all your cards. I'm also playing 1 copy of Dweller, and then 1 copy of Silent Honor. So some of the plays that you do, especially if you have to use like Silent Email, you're locked into water monsters for the rest of the turn. Silent Monarch is actually a very, very unique out because people sometimes get sloppy and leave their monsters in attack position. For example, destroy a Phoenix Enforcer, and you can use it to take it, plus it stays under the restriction of Water Monster. And Dweller, to me, is the best generic rank 4 that we can make. The problem is I don't think Dweller is very good this format currently, but that can always change. And then the cards they keep mentioning, Utopic Future, and then Utopic Draco Future. This is probably the second best deck to play this outside of the Bird deck. And then the Man of the Hour, Crooked Cook. We're only playing this for the right-hand shark combo, but arguably I'm probably going to cut this card for Almirage, so that way Silent Angler plus White Mirror is an actual starting play. We're also playing the 1 copy of Zeus. This is also a very good Zeus deck, so that why not play it? And then Rare Fish, the Ready Fusion Instant Fusion target. And that was my Kragen Control / Shark deck profile. I really, really like this deck. It's a lot of fun to play. I'm going to show some updated versions, and I'm probably honestly going to make a combo tutorial with it because what it does is very simple, but it's very impactful. But tell me what you guys think in the comments section below. I do want to bring you a Tri-Brigade Lyralist deck because I think that, to me, that's the best deck of the format, but I could be wrong. I do have the Sword Soul deck. I just don't know if I want to take the time to put it together. But again, thanks for watching. We'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace.